According to findings released by the UK government, young male drivers are 4 times more likely to be killed or seriously injured compared to all other car drivers aged 25 and over. The most common contributing factors to why most young drivers crash is that they fail to look properly. A secondary contributing factor, according to government statistics, is that the driver was careless, reckless, or in a hurry. In Birmingham, England, in September of 1995, a horrific car crash would cut short the life of a 16-year-old boy who had just left school 2 months earlier and had his whole life ahead of him. This is the story of 16-year-old Alrick Walters. On Monday the 4th of September 1995, a black, high-powered Fiat Panda turbo car was stolen from the front driveway of a West Bromwich home, and a false number plate was put on the car. The next day, on Tuesday the 5th of September 1995, a call came into the police about some youths trying to break into cars in the Handsworth area of Birmingham. So police were dispatched to go and investigate. The police that were dispatched was PC Terence Allen, who drove to investigate the report alongside his colleague PC Alice DeGad of Thornhill Road Police Station. The police said that upon a search of the area at around 1:30 p.m, they spotted a car on Churchill Road in Handsworth, similar to the car that had been described as being stolen the day before, and they decided to follow it. Inside the car was passengers 15-year-old Nicholas Walters, also known as China, and 16-year-old Emmanuel Ebanks, also known as Manny. The driver of the stolen car was 16-year-old Alrick Walters. After a short time, the police that were following the stolen car decided to put their sirens on, and upon hearing the sirens, the stolen car sped up with police officers saying that the car went up to speeds of 60 miles per hour. The stolen car then turned onto Wellington Road in Handsworth, where it overtook a moving line of traffic and travelled on the wrong side of the road in order to overtake the traffic to get away from the pursuing police vehicle. Suddenly, the car collided head-on into an 11A outer circle bus that had 12 passengers on board. The driver of the bus, Mr. Edmund Williams, said, "I froze and braked. I could see what was going to happen, so I braced myself for a collision." Police vehicle examiner PC David Haresine estimated that the car was travelling at 50 to 60 miles per hour on impact, and the crash happened just outside the Calthorpe Arms pub on Wellington Road in Handsworth, Birmingham. The passengers were trapped in the car, and it took firefighters 45 minutes to cut the roof off the car in order to get the injured teenagers out. 15-year-old passenger Nicholas Walters, who was trapped in the car, was taken to City Hospital in a critical condition with serious head and leg injuries, whilst Emmanuel Ebanks escaped with only minor head injuries. Tragically, Alrick Walters, the 16-year-old driver of the car, was pronounced dead at the scene. 16-year-old Alrick Walters was described as a very ambitious person who loved music and football and had won loads of trophies. He was also the older brother to twins Alton and Aldine, who had great love and respect for their older brother and hold fond memories of their brother till this day. Aldine said of his older brother, "Alrick was a very giving person. Family meant everything to him. He loved football a lot and taught me and my twin brother from a young age. A fond memory he has of his older brother Alrich was when Alrich got back from America. He surprised his twin brothers with a bike. 16-year-old Alrich was born on the 2nd of December 1978, and he attended Cardinal Newman School in Birmingham, which he had just left. Alrich was looking forward to starting training on a youth training scheme known as a YTS as a carpenter and painter, but sadly, due to his life being cut short so young, he would never live to fulfill his ambitions. On the 11A bus involved in the fatal car crash, 3 of the passengers on the bus were injured. 57-year-old John Gallagher of Queenshead Road, Handsworth, a passenger on the bus, was taken to hospital with minor injuries but was discharged the same day. 58-year-old Neville Duncan from Erdington suffered minor cuts and whiplash, but the most serious of the bus passengers was 75-year-old Albert Shemmons, a father of 10. He had 2 daughters and 8 sons, also from Erdington. Albert Shemmons had got off the bus after the fatal crash and went to cross over the road when he was suddenly hit and knocked down by a police motorbike that came speeding to the scene. 75-year-old Albert Shemmons was taken to hospital with a fractured hip, a broken arm and head injuries. His family say that the police rider who crashed into him did not have his sirens on, nor was the vehicle using its flashing lights when it ploughed into the 75-year-old. 3 months after the fatal crash, 75-year-old Albert Shemmons passed away. It's unclear whether his death was anything to do with being hit by the police motorbike. Eyewitnesses to the fatal collision that killed 16-year-old Alrich came forward, with a Mr. Livingston Brasso, who lived on Wellington Road, saying, "I was sitting in the living room when I heard police sirens, and then there was an almighty bang." Another eyewitness, Mohammed Afzar, said that seconds before the crash, he thought he saw some sort of struggle in the car. He stated that there seemed to be too many hands on the steering wheel. One of the passengers that was in the car that had the fatal crash told police in an interview, Alrich was doing up to 80 miles per hour after the police started chasing him. Alrich went through a gap he could not make because he was going too fast for it. Four days after the fatal crash, police made an appeal for any witnesses, and the Independent Police Complaints Authority began an inquiry into the incident. The father of Alrich, a Mr. Oscar Walters, blamed the police for his son's death, saying they knew it was Alrich driving and could have come to his house rather than chase him to his death. "As far as I'm concerned, the police should not have given chase. Then my son would still be alive today." Oscar Walters said that his son's death had rocked the family. An inquest into the death of 16-year-old Alrick Walters was set up 9 months after the fatal crash in June 1996, which turned a verdict of death by misadventure, with the coroner Dr. Richard Whittington telling the jury, "The police responded in a perfectly appropriate way in pursuing Alrick Walters and were not responsible for his death. The police had a duty to protect property and crimes that had been committed. Alrich's driving was atrocious, diabolical, and extremely dangerous." The coroner went on to say that during his autopsy, test results showed that Alrich had smoked cannabis and taken amphetamines before his death. Also during the inquest, police claimed that although they were following Alrich, the police car had not yet turned onto Wellington Road when the crash had happened. PC Terence Allen, the police officer who had been the driver of the police car that was chasing Alrich, said that he had no idea of the identity of the youth in the car he was chasing, denying claims by Alrich's father, Oscar, that he knew Alrich was the driver of the stolen car. In the following months, police were cleared of all blame for chasing Alrich in the car by an independent investigations by the Police Complaints Authority. The body of 18-year-old Rafael Thomas, born on the 18th of May, 1983, was pulled out of a Birmingham canal on Thursday the 25th of October, 2001. What happened to this young 18-year-old man? This is the story of 18-year-old Rafael Thomas. On Thursday the 25th of October, 2001, at around 9:30 p.m, at the junction of Wigan Street and Northbrook Street in Winson Green, Birmingham, a black Golf GTI Rafael had been driving attempted to overtake a bus. Allegedly, he was being chased and had shut the lights off on his car. Tragically, the car veered out of control and smashed through railings, plunging headfirst into the Birmingham Canal. Officers and fire crews battled to get the car out of the water, but Rafael had already been submerged in the canal for several minutes before rescuers had arrived. In the car alongside Rafael was a 17-year-old passenger who had managed to escape from the submerged car with just a leg injury. Unfortunately, 18-year-old Rafael Thomas was pronounced dead on arrival at City Hospital. Also, allegedly, the 17-year-old that had survived the car crash into the canal with just a leg injury was killed a few years later in a car crash.